Thank you for tuning in to the NBA report on the NBK network. We appreciate you guys tuning in. You know, you see us. We back in full effect. It's actually been a couple weeks since we I like to say, people giving us the nickname the dynamic duo Tango and Cash. I'll take it, whatever.
Hey, we here. That's what counts. We here. We're present. We're ready to go.
It's good to see y'all. Good to be back, John. And you know, it feels like old times now. I feel like, you know, we're back in the swing of things.
That's right. Definitely. Look.
Yeah, man.
Definitely excited about that.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm definitely happy to talk some NBA stuff because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's trade rumors, there's all-star game stuff happening, you know, and obviously we always got our Knicks. That never goes away, folks.
So true.
So
what we got going on?
Without further ado, let's just get right into it, man. You know how it is. It's been one of those times where the NBA is moving at the course it moves. We just gotta be along for the ride. So to start off, just a little quick recap of the Eastern Conference. The Chicago Bulls are at the top of the Eastern Conference right now with a 32-18 record. You know, so it's just going back and forth. It's Chicago's time right now. And then if it was a little bit of a going back and forth at the bottom of the Eastern Conference as well, but I think Orlando seems to be taking control of that bottom spot. They solidified it. So they're at the bottom of the Eastern Conference with a 12-41 record. And somewhere at the lower end is our New York Knicks, and they are currently in the 12th position with a 24-28 record. So, you know, hopefully they can pick up some steam and get things going into gear as they try to make a push to see if they can get into the playoffs. So we'll see. So, man, I don't know how you feel about what's going on right now, but I will tell you that currently there's been a shift. It's very interesting. So I think we should start off with the Atlantic Division because I didn't even see this coming. But, you know, with everything that's been going on with the Brooklyn Nets, the Philadelphia 76ers have supplanted them and now are leading the Atlantic Division with a 31-20 record, which it's pretty interesting because Brooklyn looked like they had a stranglehold on that for quite some time. So yeah, Philadelphia is doing their thing, bro. They're just playing good basketball continuously, and they're still very consistent, man. What do you think about Philadelphia?
They're an interesting bunch, man. They play good defense, and they're pretty much have solidified who their star is, which is of course Embiid. He's taking it to another level. Yeah, man. I mean, what can you say? They're playing really good basketball right now, and Brooklyn, however, is faltering because they've got some injuries on their end. You know, Durant going down, that's a big piece, and then they're not able to play Kyrie at home games. So that's just going to be tough, especially on Harden. That sort of that's a big workload for Harden to take over. So as you can tell, he can't do it by himself, and I think he had taken some time off as well recently as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can hold on and not fall further down. I think they just got to get healthy, which is pretty much what their entire season is about, health for them. But the 76ers look great, man, and Embiid has been showing out.
Yeah, no, Embiid is definitely staking his claim to be, you know, definitely one of the best, if not the best players in the league. He's playing unbelievable. Um, excuse me. So I think that when you touched on it a little bit. The thing about the Brooklyn Nets, now that they're number two in the Atlantic Division, they just can't. It's a tough stretch, and they can't get past these injury woes. And without having their full team of players together, they've been struggling. They've lost six in a row,
Yeah, it's
which is
huge.
interesting. So now they're 29 and 22. And you already mentioned the Kevin Durant thing, and then the Joe Harris thing has just become a bigger problem because they actually thought that they might have a chance of having Joe Harris back, but it looks like that there's some hiccups in that. So yeah, they're struggling right now, and
Yeah.
they're kind of searching for answers. I think James Harden has been trying to rally the troops, trying to get them to get back to playing good basketball, but they're struggling.
Yeah, they're having their issues over there in Brooklyn, but there are also some trade talks that are sort of in the mix as well, with James Harden being sort of prime individual to try it for them to try to move at this point, or maybe he's not happy. I'm not really sure. We'll see how it all sort of pans out. Let's see if he sticks with the team or if he bails.
Yeah, no, I mean that it's going to be interesting to see what happens, man, because I don't know, man. I think that he's a real attractive piece, and there's been a lot of speculation as to if he would be moved in a trade, which I guess I'll put that out there as the first trade speculative trade of the night, and maybe
Okay.
the people in the chat can take give us their feedback on what they think about that, if that's a viable option. So a scenario would be moving, and this is three pronged because they're trying to look for what's ever the best offer. A scenario would be trading James Harden for either Damian Lillard, if they can
Right.
work on a package like that. So I don't know what you guys think about Damian Lillard to the Brooklyn Nets and Harden to Portland, or Harden to the Wizards for Bradley Beal. So that's interesting. Or Harden to the Celtics for Jaylen Brown, which
Right.
I could really see that one happening. But yeah, so guys in the chat and gals, let us know what you guys think about either Harden to either Portland, Washington, or Boston, for Damian Lillard at Portland, for Bradley Beal in Washington, or Jaylen Brown in Boston. So give us your feedback
Not
about that.
not only that, but there's been some talks about Ben Simmons to Brooklyn for Harden as well. So that's
Yeah,
also an interesting one.
I saw that one too, but then I read something earlier today that those talks might be dead. I don't
Okay,
know. You never know. They can revisit anything, but
that's
maybe
true.
that asking price. Mm.
It's
Yeah. So
true.
and then rounding out the Atlantic Division, Toronto Raptors are 26 and 23. They've won three in a row, and unfortunately, they have taken control of that spot and basically took over where the Knicks should have been.
Right.
The Knicks are now in fifth in the Atlantic Division. So
Right.
yeah, we'll get back to the Knicks in a little bit. But then that moves us to the Central Division. But before I go, just real quick, John, did you have anything that you want to say about Toronto? Because I know that's one of the teams you like.
Yeah, I think they're strong. They're a strong young team. So I mean, they're sort of right where I expect them to be. Between them and Charlotte are sort of those were my two picks for like sleeper teams
Right,
this
right,
year. So
yeah. Yeah, they're a real good mix of vets and young. Those young guys are great over there. I like that team.
yeah,
So that brings us to the Central's division, and in the Central, the Chicago Bulls are 32 and 18. As I mentioned, they're
still rolling.
yeah, right now they're currently the top in the Eastern Conference. Um, Winners of their last two in a row, and yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about Chicago. They just,
Yeah.
they're doing what they got to do. Unfortunately, they're still dealing with that tough loss of uh,
Stewart.
no, shoot, now his name escapes me. I just had it. The defensive guy, headband, Lakers.
Can't ring a bell. Headband
Well,
Lakers. He's in
yeah, yeah.
Chicago. Oh, Caruso.
Caruso. I'm like, why can't I think of Caruso? So crazy. Yeah, that's a senior moment, guys. That's why we need to chat.
Definitely
Yeah, man.
Caruso.
Yeah. So
He's
Caruso
still out,
being
huh?
out. Yeah, no,
Wow.
I mean a broken wrist. It's
Oh,
bad.
okay. I didn't know it was that
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. That was the play. That was the play that happened versus Milwaukee.
Right.
Um,
I
so
actually watched
yeah,
that game. That was a good game.
yeah. It's tough, man. That's tough.
Mhm.
So yeah, so they're doing their thing, and I haven't heard many trade rumors revolving around Chicago. I mean, you never know; they could pull off like a little minor piece just to help them, while Caruso's out, if they want to do something like that. But
Yeah.
it's no big talks over there about moving pieces. They're playing really well. So that brings us to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Milwaukee is still very interesting. Because they're 32 and 21. And even though there wasn't a big mention of any trades, I did see when I read like the Milwaukee Beat something about possibly looking to see if they can acquire a big man to help them, while they're still hoping to see if they get Brook Lopez back.
Right.
Um, but other than that, that team is churning. We've seen them play the Knicks recently. That's a good basketball team, John.
They sure are. Yeah, I don't see nothing changing with that team unless they can, like you said, they can find a big man to solidify that center row and um keep what's the he was a former player for us, their current center,
Oh, Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis, coming
Mhm.
off the bench. So if they're able to do that, then they'll be sort of right in the mix again. I mean, they're going to be in the mix regardless, but I just think prime to win another championship is sort of where they're trying to head to. So we'll see. We'll see how they turn out.
Yeah. It should be interesting. And then rounding out the top three in the Central Division, you have the Cleveland Cavaliers with a 31 and 21 record. That's another good, exciting team that we always talk about, and seeing them recently too allows you to see how, like, you can see it's funny watching Cleveland compared to how when we saw them early in the really early in the season.
Preseason games, yeah.
Yeah, the preseason game. They wow. I mean, night and day. That team is just so much better.
They were able to
Pretty-
gel really quickly, which is interesting, where we
Yeah.
were trying to still figure it out. We were still figuring out. We're still figuring it out for our team, the New York Knicks. They figured it out. And it only took, a couple of, slight injuries here and there. And even while those players were playing and they weren't injured, they were still playing good basketball. But now that those pieces have fallen and they've realized that bringing in Rajon Rondo continues to help that team, that veteran presence. And then just you look at what Garland's done this year, just the way he's been able to like step in and legitimize his spot on the roster as a legitimate point guard alongside Evan Mobley, who's just come to his own as a rookie of the year candidate. They're a solid team.
Yeah, and you nailed it, like with Evan Mobley and stuff. And the good thing about Cleveland is they got three really good dynamic players in Jared Allen, Mobley,
Yeah.
and Garland. And the fact that they lost Sexton, which most people would think would be a really huge blow to them, basically allowed Garland to really come into his own. And so he's
Yeah.
taking control. And yeah, it's really interesting over there.
Not to mention that bench play is really good too. I mean, you have Kevin Love coming off the bench. If he stays healthy,
Yeah.
that's a tough team to beat.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So that brings us to the Southeast Division, and the leader over there, which that hasn't changed, is Miami Heat. They're 32 and 20, and they just been playing really good basketball. We talked about it a little briefly in the past, but they've been led by the normal cast of characters: Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero. Having Bam Adebayo back has been huge for them. And also the contributions that they've received from guys like Gabe Vincent and Max Struss, who
Kyle Lowry, when he was playing, has been
Kyle
terrific
Lowry,
this year.
which
Right.
which he's still every time I look at them, he's out. So it's a testament to how good they are, because they haven't even gotten the full money's worth from Kyle Lowry.
It's true.
Yeah. So yeah, that's That's a very good team indeed over there. And I don't really think, as far as when I'm looking at a lot of the rumors and stuff, I don't see them being a major player
Right.
at the trade deadline either, because they're just so good at acquiring talent from other places. Really good
Right.
over there.
Yep. You're
Um,
absolutely
so,
right.
so that brings us to the Charlotte Hornets, who are 28 and 24. Um, and they basically, there was a point a couple weeks ago where they were struggling. I think there was it was even they had lost like 5 in a row, and their defensive identity was being questioned. And they were talking to Gordon Hayward. He didn't know what was
Right.
wrong with them. Well, they've figured something out over there, and that's kind of due to the fact that they're playing good team defense, but also the defensive stud JT Thor, the 6'9" forward with the 7'3" wingspan, has
It's
been doing
huge.
a lot for them. Yeah. So yeah,
Takes
yeah.
up a lot of room with those long arms, you know.
Right, 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 right. And behind the play of I would say
LaMelo
LaMelo's
Ball,
gonna give you his
Bridges.
numbers, but it's
Yeah.
Miles Bridges that's really, I
Miles
think he's the
Bridges.
difference maker for them this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to agree.
Yeah, and we don't know exactly what might happen over there. There might be a change over there too, because they're always looking to get better. But
Yeah.
maybe we'll touch on that. And then finally, the Atlanta Hawks, who it's weird that they're actually playing a little better lately, but they're still not over 500. They're at 24 and 26. They're very up and down. They go through stretches where they're really bad, and then they start to be good, and then they kind of just break even. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know how. What do you think about what's going on with Atlanta? It's really
I,
weird, right?
that one's tricky for me because I don't necessarily follow them that closely, but just seeing from the outside looking in, it looks like they have the same sort of inconsistencies that we have, primarily on the defensive side, which would of course would affect their record. But because they have some firepower out there, depending on who's healthy and playing, will depend on what team shows up. Offensively, I'm saying. Defensively, they still have a lot of holes, problems there. So I'm sure they're
Right.
looking to make a trade to shore up their defensive side.
Well, I tell you, one of the interesting things about Atlanta too is they're looking to possibly unload John Collins,
Mhm.
and that's one of the things. I mean, guys, if, obviously you're watching. I'm trying to touch on a couple different uh, trade scenarios that aren't like the norm, where there's so much going on right now, and you're going to hear the same scenarios over and over. But
Right.
a scenario that I saw out there that I thought was interesting, and I hope doesn't happen, because forget it, that would be the worst. Is a move where Atlanta packages a couple different pieces and picks, revolving around the main piece being John Collins, to the 76ers for Ben Simmons.
Right.
Don't want that to happen. I
It's
don't know
gonna be
what
a
you
tough
guys
one to
think
go
about
over.
that, but yeah, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to see that either. But definitely, chat, man, chime in. I know we're probably looking at. I mean, we're not talking about the New York Knicks, but we're talking about other teams. But what do you think about a team like the Atlanta Hawks acquiring a Ben Simmons to go along with Trey Young, moving a piece? Like, I think there's going to be a few pieces moved,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we don't necessarily know what those pieces would be. But just knowing that John Collins will be leaving the Hawks and they'll be acquiring Ben Simmons to play alongside Trey, I think that's a formidable 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I agree. That would be pretty crazy, dude.
And
I
if they
don't
were able to keep what's the kid's name, Bogdanovich. Mm.
and that superstar stud that they got off the bench hitting those threes, the Kevin Knox.
Oh, Kevin.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah, guys, that was just a quick rundown of the Eastern Conference, the top three teams in each division. And then lastly, I wanted to just touch on, for those people that are curious what's going on out west, just real quick. Golden State Warriors are 39 and 13. They're second in the West. Then you got Memphis Grizzlies, who are 36 and 18, and we've seen how much better Memphis looked. We just saw them in person.
Sure
So
did.
That team is a tough team, man. Listen, they're very night and day too, man. That team is scrappy. They're fast. They're up and down. Their hands are everywhere. They're deep, like and they shoot threes. Like that's a wow, interesting,
Yeah.
very interesting. But what I did want to touch on real quick, guys, is the leader in the NBA with a 41-9 record, winners of their last 11 in a row. If that team's not primed to possibly be the favorites and win the NBA championship, I don't know who is, and that's the Phoenix Suns. They are clicking on all cylinders.
Can't believe it. They haven't slipped up in quite some time. And
No,
Devin Booker is playing out of his mind right now.
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
It's awesome to see.
Yeah, if he keeps it up, if he keeps this up, excuse me, he might be featured in a section on this NBA report in the near future. So we'll take a look and keep in mind what's going on with Devin Booker because he's playing incredible. But you know what? Speaking of guys who are playing incredible, and listen, Devin Booker could make this cut any week the way he's playing, but we feel like this guy right here has been playing out of his mind. And he's also, staking his claim, definitely an MVP consideration. And the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, the Philadelphia 76ers have kind of like state their claim in the Atlantic Division and surpassed the Brooklyn Nets. We got to talk about the Biz Markie NBA Player of the Week. That's right. That's Mr. Joel Embiid. You see him. Joel Embiid has been balling out, man. This guy is going out there. He's doing this. He's so special because he can do everything on the court from a big man. Like he's so skilled. You know who he reminds me of? Now that the more and more I see him, I've said this a while ago, but I'm just thinking about it again. He just doesn't have all the spinning moves, but he's very Olajuwon-esque. But he's just a bigger frame. He's got a bigger body, so he's not as quick and sleek with it. Yeah. But he can do all of that type of stuff, except for the spinning baseline move that Olajuwon's known for. But yeah,
he a bit slower. So it would be like Kevin Willis playing like Olajuwon.
There you go. Yeah, like Kevin Willis with Olajuwon's moves. I like that. Yeah.
Anyway, man, while we're talking about it, why don't we show a little highlight package of Joel Embiid?
Jeez. You see how he went coast to coast and then Durant was standing there and he was like, is someone standing here? They went right through Durant, man.
It's true, man. For some of our guests who haven't seen the show before, this is called the NBK NBA Report. So we're actually talking about the rest of the NBA. So if it's not up your alley, maybe stick around until a later show that we're actually talking Knicks. But I think this is a show that we're going to highlight, most of the NBA, talk about the NBA, see who we up against, and then maybe in the back page we'll sort of circle back and talk, our New York Knicks, because we are fans of the New York Knicks teams.
Correct. We do sprinkle in the Knicks towards the end of the show for those who may not know, but I don't know exactly what you thought this show was when it says the NBA report. But whatever. Um, yeah, man. So I think that Joel Embiid is definitely a big candidate for MVP of the league. So we got to kind of stay tuned and watch what's going on with him. But
Right.
I mean, now that we're on the along the lines of talking about really great players in the league, maybe there's somebody you want to talk about.
Who do we have? Who? Let's we pay homage here to our legends at MBK. So let me see what we got going on. Yes, sir. We'll show that is one David Bing, and this this legend, of course, was Sports Magazine once dubbed Dave Bing Mr. Unsung, about a high-scoring guard who quietly triumphed over injury and went about his business for 12 seasons in the NBA. He then quietly went on to off-court success as a self-made industrial magnate. The buzz of a celebrity never seemed to attract the speedy Bing, who excelled in the NBA in an NBA era rich in backcourt legends that included Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, and Walt Clyde Frazier. In 9 seasons with the Detroit Pistons, followed by 2 with the Washington Bullets and 1 with the Boston Celtics, Bing amassed 18,327 points in 901 contests, scores 20.3 points per game. His efforts earned him a spot on the NBA 50th anniversary all-time team, the league's rookie of the year for 1966 to 1967. He went on to make the All NBA first team twice and the second team once, and he played in 7 NBA All Star games. In only his second season in 1967 and 68, he led the NBA in scoring with 27.1 points per game. That is a salute to Mr. David Bing.
Look at that, NBA legend David Bing. Salute, man. This guy. All right, looks like he was balling.
Yeah, Dave Bing was something special. Let's actually show a little something
All
for our
right.
viewers.
Wow.
Nice. Love that jump shot. You seen that jump shot? You see how he stepped into that jump shot?
Yeah, man. I see the fundamentals, And for those who don't know, and if you happen to watch this on the replay, if you want to rewind it after it's over and just go back and take a look at who David Bing was. I know it's a little harder to see these older NBA highlights. They don't really focus that great on one player. They move around with the camera. And the grain, it's a little grainy, but he was number 21. So if you see 21 running around, that's David Bing with the flat top, with the blowout fro.
Right.
Hey.
But yeah, definitely fundamentally sound. Was a good defensive player too in his time. Did a lot of little things, but again, he's top 50 All NBA, as you can see. So salute to him, and those of you who followed the Pistons, man. Shout outs to you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, man, I think this is probably the part of the show where that fan or a couple other fans who are new to our the Nothing But Knicks channel and new to the NBA report. This is probably the part where you like. This is the NBA back page where we're going to get into a little bit of what's going on with the NBA specifically. The All-Star area of the second, the league right now, and then we'll get into a little Knicks weekly stuff. So, hey, John.
Hmm.
You know what? I think it's time to talk about the all-star selections.
Yeah, let's take a look at what everyone now knows is our starting units for both the East and the West.
All right. So, okay. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. So we're talking Steph Curry, Jokic, LeBron, uh, Morant, excuse me, Wiggins, and that's versus Giannis, DeMar DeRozan. Obviously, we know Kevin Durant, which I mean, I don't know. I mean, he should be. Maybe he'll be fine by then. I don't know. We'll see if he actually plays. Joel Embiid, and then we're talking Rayford Trey Young.
Rayford Trey Young. Yeah. So out of these players that we see up there, who do you think, as far as I mean, actually, let's go to the bench real quick. Let's show who's coming off the bench for both West and East. So you see on the West we have Rudy Gobert coming out of the Jazz, Draymond Green from the Warriors, Carl Anthony Towns for the Timberwolves, Chris Paul with the Suns, Devin Booker with the Suns, Donovan Mitchell playing with the Jazz, Luka Doncic playing with the Mavericks. That's our West bench, and then our East bench is Jared Allen playing off the cap from the Cavaliers, Jimmy Butler of the Heat, Jason Tatum of the Celtics, Fred Van Vliet from the Raptors, Zach LaVine makes this year's All-Star team with the Bulls, James Harden with the Nets, and Drew Holiday with the Bucks. And I'm not sure, Drew Holiday make last year's All-Star team? I can't recall.
I don't remember if he did.
This
I
may
don't
be
remember.
his
That's interesting.
this
Hmm.
may be his first one. Well, he may have made another one, but yeah, I don't recall him if he was in last year's. I don't remember. I can't recall. Chat, help us out there. Did Drew Holiday did he make last year's All Star team? But yeah, that's the team in itself. If we go back to the starting slide, let's go back to that starting slide. Question for you, Ron:
Hmm.
if you had a choice to remove a Western player, a team from the player from the West, to remove them from the starting lineup and place them in on the bench, who would it be
From the West.
from the West,
Hmm.
and why,
Ah.
and for whom is the other
Oh,
question.
ooh, hey. Well, okay. Honestly, to me, it's easy. Although it's not a true positional switch. So I would probably take Wiggins out because I think that this guy has been snubbed enough, and he definitely deserves to be a starter in the Western Conference and an All Star. He's been snubbed in the past many times, and that would be Devin Booker.
My friend, I would have to agree with you there. I would definitely have to agree with you there. So, same question coming out of the East: who would you replace, and why, and for whom?
Ah, hmm.
And I would like the chat to chime in as well. Yeah, let us know who you think should be who would be your pick to be moved from the starting rotation onto the bench, and for whom?
I ain't gonna lie to you. The East is kind of tough. That they look like they got it kind of right. That's a tough one. I don't know because even if I say that Atlanta's not playing the best
Right.
basketball and they've been struggling all year, Rayford Trey Young has been balling. He's been doing
Let's
his numbers.
yeah, let's why don't we take a look at the bench again?
Okay, so the East bench is Jared Allen, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, Fred Van Vliet, Zach LaVine, James Harden, and Drew Holiday. Wow.
Hmm.
Man. I mean, I don't know. I guess the only person I would probably say might be able you could switch is Trey Young. for maybe Fred VanVleet. Because then it looks weird. Like then it's one of them all-star teams where you got like Jimmy Butler running the point or something
Right.
like that. Like, yeah, like I could see maybe that, but it's tough. I think East did a really good job.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of Van Fleet for me would have been the person I would have, and I would have had, I would have had Trey Young come off the bench because I think
Mm,
overall Van Fleet's played more games. He's been the more consistent of the players. And he just doesn't get enough love out there, in Toronto. I mean, he gets it in Toronto, but he doesn't get it in the States.
yeah, yeah. Well, in the chat, some people, Andrew K said, you know,
Drew
Wiggins,
Holiday. Drew Holiday. Yeah, Drew
Drew for
Holiday.
Wiggins, I guess.
Right.
Well, no, Drew's on the East.
Yeah. It would have been no. He was saying Drew Holiday he meant was an all-star team
Oh, I
once in
see.
his
I'm sorry.
13
I
year career.
apologize.
So
Yeah, yeah, I apologize.
he was in 2012 and 2013 with Philly. Oh,
Right.
interesting.
That's correct. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I see
Good
what you were
job.
saying. David L says free Luca. Okay, so
Replacing KD. I'm replacing KD with Jimmy. Ooh, funky goose
wow.
world.
Well, I
Go
mean
ahead, bud.
that may happen
Anyway,
anyway. Yeah,
yeah.
because of injury. So that's a good point. And then oh yeah, Quiet Money. Let's salute Quiet Money for giving us the Tango and Cash nickname. So you got the love for that, Quiet Money.
Nice.
Miles Bridges for Van Vliet. Oh, so you oh, interesting. Okay, interesting.
All right.
Hmm.
Oh, well,
All
we're
right.
going to the next level. So let's go to the next level. Who do we think got snubbed? Because that goes to what David L is talking about right now. Let's show that.
Mm.
Let's see who was what players did not make the cut who may have should have made the cut. So we got players
Oh,
from the West like Brandon Ingram playing for the Pelicans, DeAndre Ayton, who plays with the Suns, Paul George with the Clippers, Anthony Davis with the Lakers, and then in the East you have players like Bradley Beal playing for the Wizards, Jaylen Brown playing with the Celtics, Darius Garland playing with the Cavaliers, and Miles Bridges playing with the Hornets. And of course, you can add some more players in both the West and the East, but I figured, that would be just a long list of individuals. But feel free to drop in anyone who you feel got snubbed, that is not on this list, because I'm sure there's many. There are like players like Mikal Bridges, some would say what's the young kid that we just seen with the Grizzlies, Bane.
Bain, Desmond Bain.
Some would say Bane. Some would say LaMelo Ball. That's
I'm
another
seeing
one.
a lot of LaMelo Balls in the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
That's a pause. But anyway, that's yeah, that's definitely a person who might have gotten snubbed.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's surprising actually. Yeah, LaMelo. That's interesting.
Funky Goose, why are you doing that to us, man? Randall got snubbed.
Yeah,
He sure did.
Boy.
Randall, he got snubbed by our fan base, is what he did.
and Randall snubbed himself. Okay,
Basically,
because Randall definitely could have made this All-Star team.
Yeah.
When you get that first All-Star team under your belt, when you're actually in people's face, you're on the list. The next year, it's a little easier to make that second one. You just got to play similar basketball, but
Right.
he's not doing that. So,
Hey, so Darius Garland made the team? Did he? I see that was posted. I thought he didn't make the team.
no,
I may have made the mistake. I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Garland made it. Okay.
Did he make
Now,
it? I don't know.
So he must have made it to the reserves. Maybe
Possibly.
okay. All right. Well,
Kudos to him, man. He deserves it.
Yeah, he
definitely
deserves
deserves it.
So salute to the chat for holding us down, man. Yeah, that's why you guys are you're the fourth member. It's myself,
Right.
John, No Way Jose in the background, the Don Jose, and you guys are the fourth member. So we appreciate you guys.
Definitely.
Right, so that brings us. Yeah, that brings
everyone has a really strong opinion here about who should have been.
yeah. That's what happens, man. You open up that can of worms, man. People like, yeah, I know. I'll tell you who got snubbed. So that brings us to the second part of our NBA back page, which is Knicks Weekly. we got some trade talk stuff out there, so we want to kind of go over that real quick and then shout out the chat. But yeah, man, John, what do you think about some of these different trade scenarios that we got out there for our Knicks?
Oh man, it's interesting, man. I mean, I wish we had some slides for them, but let's start with one of them. I would say, like, I know folks have heard about the Jonte Murray potential trade that's been around, and that sort of was around in a few different articles, but it had the Jonte Murray coming to the Knicks for Kemba Walker, Alec Burks, a New York Knicks 2022 first round pick, a Dallas 2023 pick, first round pick, a New York Knicks 2024 first round pick. Do you guys think that's way too much to be asking for the Jonte Murray, or do you think that's right on par?
I got one different for you, but
Mm.
I don't want to sway the chat.
Yeah, I think this is a question for the chat, man. What do y'all think? You think that we're giving away so many picks right now for a DeJounte Murray, but we're also giving away Kemba Walker, which I'm sure people are happy to get rid of at this point. But Alec Burks being, someone who has helped us along the way and sort of plays that Swiss Army like Swiss Army knife type player. But the New York Knicks will be giving away a 2022 first round pick, 2023 first round pick from Dallas, and also a 2024 first round pick as well. What do y'all think? I think that's too much. What we got here? Oh, shout outs to Geraldine McIver for giving us. This will be our first super chat, right?
Actually, no, this is our second super chat.
Second.
We
Nice.
got another one framed from back on the wall, like way back
Way
on the
back.
wall. Yeah, thank you, Geraldine. Appreciate the super chat. She's if you guys don't know, Geraldine is a big supporter of all things Knicks related, and she's great on all platforms, and she supports us at Still Knicks Fans as well as she supports Nothing But Knicks. So thank you, Geraldine, as always.
Yeah, we got a few people chiming in right now. We got Queens Court. Salute to Queens Court. And Steph, thank you for joining us today. She says that's not enough. No way San Antonio goes for that. So she's saying we're underbidding if we're handing off that.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to say it. I let the chat do their thing, but I don't know the way these trades look these days and how people value their talent compared to our talent. Right. They put some high prices on stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, you see, we'll have to part with a young player.
That's a 2K move.
Well, and see, the real value in that trade is Alec Burks and that 2023 first round pick. The other first round picks are good, but that 2023 one is probably the value with Alec Burks. Kemba is the throw in that we want to move, but I don't think he's a sexy piece for any team. But if you want our picks, you're gonna take one of these guys we're trying to get rid of. So it is what it is.
Right. So you got one that you want to talk about?
Yeah, man. Let's take a look at this next one real quick. Goran Dragic would be going to the Knicks with a protected first round pick, and the Knicks would be trading to the Raptors Kemba Walker and Alec Burks.
What does the chat think about that one?
It's interesting. And it's also how you value Goran Dragic at this point in his career, because he hasn't. I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen him on the court a lot for Toronto this year.
That's true. Hasn't played much. Yeah.
I'm wondering.
And some questions. Does this open up a space for us? Right? Yeah. I mean, potentially, because that way you can play. You have a space for Cam to come in and get some minutes.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, Goran Dragic hasn't played in quite some time. And so far what he has done, wow, he's only played 5 games this year. and he averaged 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.8 assists.
Yep. Draka is just washed. Potentially. You
Yeah,
may be
yeah,
right.
yeah. Dragic could be washed. So we'll see. Yeah, so guys, just chime in real quick what you think about that trade scenario. Goran Dragic, protected first round pick for Kemba Walker and Alec Burks. And then
You
while we're
say
doing
no
that,
go.
it's hey, okay, all right. Maybe the chat likes this next one a little better. Or you want to read that one, John?
Yeah, so we're talking about the Knicks receiving one Russell Westbrook and Talon Horton Tucker, a 2027 first round pick via the Lakers, and a 2023 second round pick via the Lakers. And the Lakers will receive Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, and Alec Burks.
Interesting. And we don't give up any picks.
No picks on this one. And this
Russell Westbrook, Talon Horton, here's or who, Tucker, 2027 first round pick, 2023 second round pick, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, Alec Burks. Huh. I mean, I know guys, some of y'all hate Russell Westbrook. I hear you. I'm with you. His contract
does expire
this is
after 2 years, right? Year and a half?
yeah, so he's got the rest of this year, and then he's got a player option, which he's going to pick up for next year. So it's a year and a half of Russell Westbrook, but you're getting him, and you're getting Taylor Horton. Here's a who, which I really like that young guy. He's a good player.
Yep.
And then you get rid of 4 pieces on the Knicks. So it's you're opening up 2 roster spots for possibly one for Cam and one for Grimes.
Yeah, because Kemba's coming. Not Kemba. Rose is coming back.
So Derrick Rose will take Grimes' spot for the most part. So this will open up a spot for Grimes exclusively. So you get Grimes and Cam Reddish playing valuable minutes, as well as Taylor Horton, and you get Russell Westbrook.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
That means it's pretty much gonna. I mean, it's gonna fall on Westbrook's hands to sort of be the number one option. With Randall gone, you sort of have the alpha, player on our team, and I don't know if RJ would be able to contend with that, because that'll put RJ sort of second to Westbrook, unless Tibbs has a fine way of figuring that one out. But I think right now RJ is sort of the number one option, or has springboarded to the number one option for our New York Knicks team. But if we get a Westbrook in here, I would assume that he's going to be the most ball dominant player we have.
Yeah. It is. It's a rough reset, but when Russ leaves, there's a lot of money that comes off the cap. Then also the TV contract in 2023, is it? I think it is. It's very soon coming up where teams will be infused with a little bit more money. So it could be interesting. So. Then we got one more here. This one is probably my favorite just because of the person we get. I'm going to say it in reverse, right? So the Knicks give up Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, Obi Toppin, the New York Knicks 2022 first round pick unprotected, the New York Knicks 2023 first round pick swap for a more favorable pick. So the choice to swap with the team, the 76ers, the New York Knicks 2024 first round pick, top 10 protected, otherwise 2025 first round pick unprotected. This is a lot. It's a mouthful. And the 2026 first round pick swap, more favorable to Philadelphia. So some of these picks are a swap, so you're not necessarily getting rid of your pick altogether, but you're giving Philadelphia the chance to swap picks. So if our pick is lower, they can take that pick, and then I guess we get their pick, which will be later, a later draft pick as far as the rounds go. And the Knicks would receive Ben Simmons and Isaiah Joe. So without getting too tongue-tied with all the picks, the bottom line here is a bunch of picks and a bunch of options for Philadelphia to swap. And then the Knicks give up Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, and Obi Toppin for Ben Simmons and Isaiah Joe. So what do you guys think about that one?
A lot of folks are still on Westbrook, I tell you.
Yeah. Um, Interesting.
But that's
I'm curious.
definitely a lot of what's going on in sort of the world today in the NBA world. Is there's a lot of trades happening. There's a lot of talk, a lot of rumors, and none of it could be true. You know, a lot of it just could be speculative. But you know, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't speak about it.
Well, so the queen says negative. So I'm wondering why she says negative. What spurs that? What doesn't she like?
You're going
Um,
young, right? You're moving away from Julius. Oh no,
Fun,
with that scenario, Julius stays and Obi goes,
Julius
right?
Stage, correct, right. So
Right.
Funky Goose World said no trades for Carmelo. Yeah, he's not a high on the priority list.
Bring Melo
Wow,
back.
I got to tell you, the one thing I'm really surprised about, right? And I wonder if it's out of sight, out of mind. But there's a lot of people. It took me a while to warm up to this, but a lot of people still don't. They're not big fans of Ben Simmons.
I don't
Yeah,
think they believe in what he can do, and I get it. And then some of that, the detraction part of the detraction is what happened in Philly and him not showing up in the playoff game, a crucial playoff game, of course. And then all of the conversations around how he sort of left the team and didn't give Coach Doc the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? There was some conversations around Doc Rivers reaching out to him via text, and Ben Simmons chose not to respond or not to come to a game. So there's a lot going on there. Again, a lot to be said. There was some conflict with Embiid at the time. So not quite sure what goes on there. But all in all, if he is having what they call mental health issues, that's extremely, serious, and he should be taking care of that, and that should come first before basketball, of course.
agreed.
And if it's not, and he's gotten himself back to where he feels like he can provide any team in the NBA substance, I think he should be looking forward to that, and also making it known in the public eye that he wants to start playing soon, because right now they're sort of holding him out. Like you sort of see this sort of tactic in the NFL. You don't really see that in the NBA. So I'm surprised that it's taking this long. But again, we'll see. I mean, the trade deadline isn't up until the 10th, right, of February. So
That's
there's
correct.
still a couple of weeks left. And
Well,
today is actually the day where you can actually start the trade for guys like Randu and some others.
yeah,
It is
today is
February 3rd.
as a lot of people saw on Uncle Freezy on Lawrence Tier said happy Julius Randle Day. So oh boy, yeah. So today, guys like Julius Randle and De'Aaron Fox can be traded.
Right.
So yeah, just keep that in mind. So I'm sure there's some talks and discussions happening behind the scenes. At least people are trying to check the temperature on a lot of stuff. And then last but not least, we're trying to wrap this up and get you guys up out of here. Is the scenario that a lot of us don't want to see, and that is, do we let it ride, do not make any moves before the trade deadline, and work to bring in or release players during the off season?
That's a tough one. Come on, Chad. Let us know how you feel about that. Are we staying true? Are we staying intact for the rest of the season? Because some would consider that a soft tank, right?
Somewhat, yeah. I was just gonna say some would consider that like a soft tank. You're right. And the other thing about it, guys, is I understand where we're frustrated Knicks fans. We want them to do something, but sometimes you make no moves and you do stuff in the off season where it's more, you have more flexibility. Your clearer minds can work on things, and other teams aren't holding players hostage and trying to get the most out of you. Plus,
Right.
if you don't feel you're really going to make a move, even if you make an acquisition right now, you say we could go trade for a Ben Simmons or whoever, but we don't have enough time to turn the season around. Sometimes it makes sense to wait. So
true. So true.
yeah. So while you guys are just chiming in and answering the question whether you think we should just let it ride and stand pat, I'll just run down the list of a couple different people in the chat, just showing some love. We can't go through everybody because for sake of time, we just want to kind of, get through it. But salute to David L, Funky Goose World, Shaw Powers, Gregory Lee, just breezing through. Jerry Figueroa, appreciate you. Fresh 3542, Rich Jim, C Mac, C_Mac, Keith Turner, David Gully, Joshua Rivera, Pudge Nice in the building, Danny Landis, uh, Willie Cruz, let's see here, Geraldine McIver as always, T Williams, Jonathan Green. Anybody you see, John?
I don't know. You said
Salute to
David
Karen
L,
Fung.
Franklin Noah, Karen Fung. Yeah. Shout outs to everyone, man. Ronaldo Maldonado.
Yep. Eddie F.
Keith Turner.
Right. And I definitely want to shout out. I want to shout out my man,
Robert
Willie, Willie
Muggin.
Cruz, because he recognized the Piragua hat. The Piragua, baby. Quiet Money in the chat, giving us our nickname, Tango and Cash.
Oroku Saki. Salute.
Yes. J. Rue, Baby Grizz.
Just
Marvin
K. I see that too.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you. And Fabian Williams, I see you. So, yeah, man. Let me just see if anybody said anything interesting about standing pat. Geraldine said, I wouldn't be surprised if the front office stands pat and waits till the offseason. David L says, got to make moves and release players like Luka and Burks, Aris Silva. I know the name that you're trying to say. It's hard to say it. But, yeah, we got to get rid of guys like that off of the roster. And then P. Ramos said, don't make any hasty moves, weather the storm, get a PG in the offseason, and straighten out this roster with young defensive players.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good take.
I see Robert Mugen says, stay looking for a Donovan sighting. Donovan Mitchell, of course. That would be nice if we can pull him away from the Jazz. That would be nice.
Yeah. Franklin agrees. Franklin and Noah, Donovan Mitchell, that's the guy we need. Yeah. Listen, guys, if we can somehow get Donovan Mitchell here, I will be one of the happiest Knicks fans ever, because that's such a wild card, especially the fact that you also got the Miami Heat who's wooing him, and apparently it's a destination that he would love to go to as well. Because remember, guys, people keep saying, oh, Donovan Mitchell, he's a big New Yorker. He's raised in New York. His pops works for the Mets or whatever, all this other stuff. But guess what? He goes to Miami. He's a lot closer to New York than Utah. He can just jump right in here quick. So just keep that in mind.
Red eye, baby. Jump on the red eye.
Yeah, man.
Plus, the offseason is in Miami anyway.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. That's what. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All about Knicks. Peace to the Knicks Nation. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And K's in the building. Above the rim, 1115 BK. No tax in Miami. That's a key. That's what keeps attracting them. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in, and we welcome you as always to check us out. It's Still Knicks Fans. We have our Monday show where we do a weekly recap and prediction show that's usually around 9 p.m. on Mondays. We've got the NBA report that you're watching right now, which will be maybe on a Wednesday or a Thursday around 8 p.m., depending on when the Knicks play, either day. Right. And then you could also check me out on Saturday. I'm holding it down for Still Knicks Fans while John is doing his duties that he has to do.
You said I had a lot of duties to do, really?
Yeah, you got a lot of duties, bro. Yeah, you can catch me on Saturdays at 11 a.m. for the Know the Ledge series, where we just chop it up. It's a real freestyle, loose setting. People come on, we all talk about Knicks stuff and things that are going on. So definitely support us. We appreciate y'all, and continue to support Nothing But Knicks and the channel lineup that's going on over there. We'll talk about the Queen's Court, the controversy. We got the crossover. You also got Knicks and Bruises with Tony Crow. And the crossover is Tony Crow and Steph. So you got the best of both worlds there too. And the controversy with Josh, aka Uncle Fulio, and then you got Simeon Russell with all of the shows, the pre-games, the post-games, the shoot-arounds, you name it. So definitely continue to support, Keep coming back. Like, comment, and subscribe for not only the Nothing But Knicks channel, but check out Still Knicks Fans. Go like, comment, and subscribe over there. We're on the road. We're building. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the spring. We're getting close to 500. We're hoping to get to 500 by the end of the month. So, just keep supporting. We appreciate y'all. Jon, any final words?
Stay blessed as always. Catch you on the next one.
Yep. I'm with that. And then thank you to my man Jose in the background. He's holding it down for us on the ones and twos. He's always in the building. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Run that